So we know that the San Antonio Spurs are kind of shopping the market for Kawhi Leonard. So we believe, it seems to me, that Kawhi Leonard is available for a trade if you are in the Eastern Conference. We've seen that Kawhi Leonard is not going to be traded to the Lakers. He's not going to the Rockets. I do not believe the Spurs are willing to trade Kawhi Leonard within their own conference. But maybe they'd be open to trading him to the Eastern Conference. They'd be willing to give him to a team for an equal player because they're struggling. Kawhi Leonard doesn't seem to want to work with them. If they can get a similar star player and flip him for Kawhi Leonard, maybe they can bring in another player just as good with just as much production that they'll get along with. And so I'm looking around, okay, well, who could trade for Kawhi Leonard? Who in the Eastern Conference actually has a chance of getting Kawhi Leonard? I mean, you could see the Cavs trading Kevin Love, but why would they do that? It doesn't seem to help them with their future. I don't think they would trade because Kevin Love has injury concerns. Say, okay, well, maybe the Philadelphia 76ers could go after Kawhi Leonard. I don't know that they have any big pieces they could trade, any big assets they could trade for Kawhi Leonard. So my team, I think the favorite if anyone's going to trade for Kawhi Leonard, and I don't think that anyone is going to trade for Kawhi Leonard because I think the asking price is too high and the contingencies are too difficult to fill. But I think if any team would trade for Kawhi Leonard, it would be Danny Ainge and the Boston Celtics. I love Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge is a risk taker. He goes after things. He's kind of a maverick. I think he's the kind of guy that would go after Kawhi Leonard. And so that makes me ask, okay, what are the Boston Celtics' 5 best assets? What do the Celtics have that's maybe possible or worth trading? I mean, you have a bunch of small players, like role players. You could trade away, maybe Al Horford and Terry Rozier. But here are the 5, I think, best assets that the Boston Celtics have. They have Gordon Hayward, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kyrie Irving, and I think it's a toss-up between Al Horford or that first-round draft pick. Remember, they're not going to have a good first-round draft pick, but they will have a first-round draft pick, and I think that Al Horford's getting older, he's a little bit older. They're about equally just as, so maybe it's 6 assets technically, but I don't know. So I wouldn't trade, I don't think that the Spurs would trade for Gordon Hayward. I don't. Maybe Gordon Hayward and a Terry Rozier or another role player, but I don't see that happening. And I don't think there's a way in the world that the Celtics would trade away either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. Jaylen Brown is not leaving the Celtics. Jason Tatum is not leaving the Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum's a rookie, and they are running their offense through Jason Tatum. They are creating plays for him. He's only a rookie. Jason Tatum has an incredibly high ceiling. He clearly should have been the first overall pick in the NBA draft. The Celtics are not ever going to get rid of Jason Tatum. And I wouldn't get rid of Jaylen Brown. He's 21 years old. He's shooting incredibly from 3 right now. He's playing really well. I think Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum they're off the list. They're not on the trading block. They are not for sale. So the next question becomes, how about Kyrie Irving? Because there's been some speculation, maybe Kyrie Irving, you should trade him. Kyrie Irving's had some health concerns. If you remember back at Duke, Kyrie Irving did not play a full freshman year at Duke. Then he went to the NBA. And with the Cavaliers, before LeBron got there, remember, Kyrie Irving had injury concerns. And now, once again, with the Boston Celtics, Kyrie Irving again has injury concerns. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I would not trade Kyrie Irving for Kawhi Leonard in a heartbeat. And I would not get rid of Kyrie Irving for almost anything. I think Kyrie Irving has one skill you simply cannot replace. As long as you can have Kyrie Irving, I would have Kyrie Irving, because here's what Kyrie Irving does that nobody else can do. Kyrie Irving is a closer. See, when you need a shot, when you need a bucket, you're down by 1 and you need 2 points in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, you're playing against the Golden State Warriors, Kyrie Irving can go and get a bucket. Kyrie Irving can score in the biggest moment. He's even better than LeBron James at doing that. I would not trade Kyrie Irving for anything because he has an ability that nobody else has. It reminds me of this. Once upon a time, I worked at a car wash, and there were only 2 people at the time who worked at the car wash that could close. So there's a big machine. You have to close the machine. You have to do all this stuff. It's about an hour of work to close down the car wash. And when the other guy left, I was the only person on staff at the car wash who knew how to close. And we were working on training people, but we weren't there yet. So there was about a 2-week stretch where I was the only person working at that job who knew how to shut off the machines, who knew how to close down the money till, who knew how to put everything away. I was the only person who knew that whole complicated process. And so I became incredibly valuable. Days I would have Wednesday off. Even though I had Wednesday off all day, I'd still had to come in for an hour at the end of the night at 7 o'clock and close down all the machines, close down everything. Because I was the only person who knew how to do that. If I got sick, if I didn't show up, if something happened to me, the car wash was screwed because they would have nobody who knew how to do that function. They would have nobody who knew how to close because nobody else was capable of doing that in that 2-week stretch while they were training another guy. Kyrie Irving is very similar. He's even called a closer. I was a closer at the car wash. Hey, Kyrie Irving literally is always called a closer. He is a guy. When you need a bucket, Game 7 of the NBA Finals, the Celtics are playing against the Warriors. They have them on the ropes, but they're down by 1. They need a bucket. Kyrie Irving can go and get that score. Now, some people are arguing this. Well, remember, Kyrie Irving has injury problems. Kyrie Irving can't score that bucket in Game 7 if Kyrie Irving is hurt. So I think moving forward, the Boston Celtics should lean on Kyrie Irving less. Give him fewer minutes. I mean, they will anyways. He's coming off an injury. But give him fewer minutes earlier in the season. Remember, it's good for Kyrie Irving right now because he has more time than normal to prepare his body. Because actually getting hurt in March was good for him. I really believe that because he's going to come into the next season completely rested and fully healthy. But in the future, you got to limit Kyrie Irving's minutes. And that's tough to do because Kyrie Irving only averages 33 minutes in his career per game. Now, I would cap Kyrie Irving. I'd say, Kyrie, you're only playing 29 minutes per game right now. We can win without you. We have good players because you need to keep Kyrie Irving healthy. Because I repeat, Kyrie Irving is an even better finisher than Kevin Durant, than LeBron James, maybe even than Steph Curry. You cannot replace that function. When you need a bucket, when you have 2 minutes left, who cares about comparisons to Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Kyrie Irving? Because you're not going to get that. The Celtics aren't going to get that. The best option the Celtics have of getting a guy who can score a bucket when you need it. Game 7, NBA Finals, Celtics Warriors. When you need that shot, the only guy the Boston Celtics have and have an opportunity of having with that skill set is Kyrie Irving. If you trade Kyrie Irving for Kawhi Leonard cannot step into that role. Kawhi Leonard's a great player. I don't know how he would work with Gordon Hayward. I don't think he would. But Kawhi Leonard's a great player. However, you need a guy who can score in that big moment, and Kawhi Leonard is not that guy. I would not trade Kawhi Leonard. So I would not trade Kyrie Irving for anything because he can do something nobody else can do. Thank you for watching this video. Remember, if you like it, you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube. And if you really like this podcast, help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about the show on Facebook, on Twitter, whatever it is. Help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about this show.